Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me. I'm Cynthia and you have found my channel Including New Journals, and I appreciate you joining me today. Today we are continuing to work in a journal that is start to finish with creating it using a cereal box. So you can go back a few if you're interested in seeing how I did that and find out how I glued the material on and sewed it on as well. Today, we are making some journal cards out of guest checks for some of the tuck spaces that we have created. Now, you can purchase these right from Walmart. These are very simple to find. I created my own using Google Docs. It was cheaper to me. I didn't want a whole stack at one time. Your stack might be great for you if that's what you want to use. There are some challenges out there that use guest checks, and they're like 50, I think. And you have to figure out 50 different ways, or they challenge you 50 different ways of creating journal cards using guest checks. But I went on Google Docs and I just created my own guest check in a sheet quite like this. And actually, this is it. Oh, look, I have even changed the numbers here to pink, whereas here they're in white. You have the option of doing that. And before I cut these out, I will glue them onto a piece of coffee stain paper or tea stain paper. What I had handy was a piece of cardstock that is sort of a little manila colored. And I glue them first so that when I cut them, I don't have to cut the paper and then cut out the back. So let's just cut one together quickly. And this is exactly what I would do. And I have, I don't glue anywhere but where the card is. I can see that from the back. So I glue the card, all three down, and then I put them on that one piece of paper. And afterwards I will have, well, actually I've glued up a little bit further and you can see that, but you can see where the paper is not glued. So I have all of this left to use and don't have to throw it away. So here is one that I'm going to utilize today. And if we have time, I will make more than one, but I won't stop to cut them out. These I cut out from thin paper, and I can go ahead and actually decorate these and back them later. But typically I will back them. This is how I make them. I back them first, cut them out, and then I create on that card. And this pink size I like because this tuck was a little bit larger and I have something that I can put in there. I can slide it all the way down if I want to. I can even come in and cut off a corner here. As a matter of fact, let me pull my little corner rounder, and let's just see what that looks like so that you'll have a chance to know. And this is my corner rounder. They come in all different shapes, some with handles. I'm going to use the widest circle. I would simply just slide it in, and then it gives me a little rounded place there, and you can see that. And of course it didn't get that, and I'm not going to cut that off. I was going to trim that, but I'm going to let it hang because it's something that's just hanging off the back of that paper. I like the ragged edge. Do I have to do the corner rounder? Absolutely not. If I don't have a corner rounder, what I used to do in the old days before I ever purchased one is I just use my scissors and cut around in that corner area. Today, I had the corner rounder, so I used that. All right, so now let's look at decorating this. I have a butterfly here and a white flower. It doesn't mean this has to be the same, but I am going to kind of look at that. So I'm going to set my journal aside so that we can focus just on the card. And I'm not sure I can get my screen looking there. I did that. Hopefully I didn't make anybody sick by jostling the camera. All right, so let's make one. I'm going to use art glitter glue. I like this blue flower. There are some blues throughout. And I want to put a little hummingbird on here as well. I like that. I think I want a little background, not a lot, but just a little something, something. tear down an old dictionary page or encyclopedia page. Go right along the side here. I'm going to use, I just happen to have in my hand a Yoo-hoo stick, so I'm going to use that while it's handy. And take it right along that edge there. Okay. And I have a gold butterfly that is really oversized, so I'm going to move to another one. Or let's see what the hummingbird looks like. I think I'm going to use him. This is a hummingbird themed journal that I am creating here. A hummingbird does not have to be on every page, but because it is a themed journal, I do want to use hummingbirds. And he's a cutie. And no, he's not from a real hummingbird pictured. Looks like he has stripes. I've never seen a hummingbird with stripes. If you have, you can tell us about it in the comments below. Thank you for that. Let's see what else I have. A little lady right here I think I'm going to use as far as a little label. I love labels that are not square and rectangular. My eye, for some reason, goes to rounds or ovals, and there are a couple that have the little ladies like this, and they are in an oval shape, but their head sticks up out of the oval. I like that a lot. It's just different, and to me it is interesting and fun. Let's see if that's too much to go up in the sky up here. And I don't think so, so I'm going to add that butterfly if my fingers can get a hold of it. Again, just a touch of art glitter glue. And when you are creating, whether you're just making a journal card out of plain paper, tea, coffee stained paper, or you're using a guest check or making your own tag or something larger even, you don't have to use the background like I have here. I love using some kind of background. You can use more, you can use less, or none at all. You can just use whatever you have on the printed page that, that you like, to each his own. And so this was just a little guest check. And then you can see there's plenty of room to write on a journal card in the back. Let's see what he looks like in our journal tuck. Make sure the journal, oh yeah, well that was a good reminder. I can slide back out again. And pulling down, whoa, the arm of my camera holder there went a little wonko. So here you see the tuck, and here is the guest check or journal card going behind, sticking out. And I do like to see that there is a journal card back there, and that's why I'm letting him stick out. And you know, as we go along, I may choose to use this in a smaller pocket. I may create something larger that will stick out of this more. It doesn't matter. Just right now, I wanted to create some guest checks for my journal. Let's see if we can make two more together. And I'm going to work on the two smaller ones, the greener ones, and I'm going to pull them out. And we'll work on these. Actually, I think I'm going to work on all three at the same time. If you're going to mass make something, you might as well go ahead and make 5 or 6 of them. I have 3 cuts, so I'm going to go ahead and create 3. Or maybe not, depending on how many flowers I've actually pulled to use in my from my little scraps here today. So I do have an old book page I'm going to pull from. And you'll notice that in the last card that I made, I did not use a lot of book page for the background. This time, I'm going to use quite a bit. How's the weather where you are? I am videotaping ahead of time, and today it is raining. It was scheduled to rain or forecasted to rain, cats and dogs. Literally, it looked like 100%, quite a bit of rain, but if it rained very much, it must have done it while I was in church. When I got out of church, it was just simply, actually, you can see there's a bit of glue there. I was going to pull that off, but I think I'm going to just round it around by adding a little more glue and just letting it go over the side. And if you're wondering what I backed this card with, I haven't backed it yet. I'll back it later. I think I did mention that. I just wanted to make sure that I noted why that card was so white. And if you'll notice, I left a little edge around each of these cards. That's because I had not backed them first and I wasn't trying to cut so close to the card. Nothing more goes along with that. That was it. And I'm letting my journal, or not my journal, but my card, my paper rather, my dictionary paper, encyclopedia paper from the early 1900s, dictate where I put it on the page. I want something different. Not always to the left, not always to the right, sometimes up, sometimes down, for a variation. But I am letting that straight edge sort of guide me as to where I put it, turning it in the direction of the words so that they're up. And let's catch this corner here that I did not catch with the glue. And I think he's going to want to wrap around the card just a tad. Just a tad, and you can't hardly even see it, or I can't pick it up. I don't know if the camera is picking just a smidgen right there. Okay, good. And I also think I want a little bit of this green paper from Rachel at Roxy Creation. This is some Italian paper. I love adding some solid background or pattern background, something with color, but I also love adding book page as background also. And I'm just going to give credit to where credit is, to whom credit is due, and that is I started following Wendy at Wendy's Journal Adventures. Actually, she was my second video. I happened upon seeing Mrs. Cog, who had made a journal for Wendy, show that and tell about who Wendy was. And Wendy Connors Beckett, I believe I have that name correct, Wendy at Wendy's Journal Adventures. And that, of course, sent me to looking for who is Wendy Connors Beckett at Wendy's Journal Adventures and what is this junk journal business all about. So I really began watching Wendy from the start and absolutely loved everything I saw her do. I love how she's even branching out now to do some different things. She's using some of the medieval mirage that Rachel from Roxy Creations uses. I love those medieval books that she's just done. They're gorgeous. I encourage you, if you're just getting started or if you've never seen any of Rachel or Wendy's work, go to their channels. Please go there and check them out. I think you will find it well worth your while. Now, I'm going to trim a little bit of that off, so I'm not going to worry that I didn't get it quite all the way to the edge. And again, this is art glitter glue. It dries almost instantaneously, so you really have to be quick with that. Let's see. All right, I like that there. And I think I'm going to like this one here. And this little guy might get a butterfly. All right, there's always a way to change whatever you're thinking. You just change it around however you want to. And let's see, I think I'm going to pull that page back that I used a moment ago, or a different page that I can use to glue. I'm going to use the Yoo-Hoo glue stick on this one, simply because I think it's a little faster, and I want to cut off the edges. Also, because I'm videotaping, I don't want to have to second guess myself while I'm trying to get this flower down onto the guest check. And you can see now how the flower hangs over. I could leave that there, especially if I were making a pocket, I would be apt to, but since it's on a card and it's going in and out, I'm gonna just trim off the edge, what hangs over. You're gonna see it doesn't hurt the look of the journal card at all. Besides, when we see paintings or pictures that others have done as artists, what we see is the finished product sometimes has the flower so large it's going off the page. Don't be afraid to allow your work to do that. And I have mentioned this before too, even though I was using the Yoo-Hoo glue stick, I don't know what it is, but I somehow pull away from the paper when I'm going to the edge, and I always see something that needs to be stuck down. That's so easy to do. Look right here. You just simply use a little bit of the art glitter glue, and you just tack it down. If you ever get anything home, if you buy a journal and you think, oh no, somebody messed up, you know, it's all done by hand, and human error plays a lot in this. Just simply get a little glue, tack your paper back down, and that's for anybody that you purchase from. Let that be something that you do. Isn't that a pretty little journal card? And then, of course, you have the back, and you can write on that. And I will be backing this with probably that same little manila cardstock. So you'll see the color there. We'll hide that out. Even if I just use a tea or coffee stain paper, or even just a white sheet of paper to go on the back of there, that'll help cover up those lines. And I have seen really good crafters and creators leave this without putting anything on there. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, to each his own. Do it however, create it however you want to. I will, because I want it to be a little bit thicker, add something to the back. Some people are trying not to put so much bulk because they're adding so much decoration. They want to leave it as is. Okay, let's leave that one within camera shot. I'll pull these two back in, and let's see what we can come up here. Well, I have news. I don't have a home, but I am house sitting for someone for approximately 6 months. Isn't that a cool thing to do? And I'm not going to give any information about why I'm house sitting, what those folks are doing, why they're out away from their home, or where that home is. But it really helps me relax quite a bit in the fact that I am looking for a home and have been living with my cousin and her family in the area in which I'm moving to. And, you know, isn't it just nice to be able to relax a little bit and not worry about, oh, wow, I'm trying to find a home. How do I get out of their house and out of their hair? And so this is just truly, I have to say, it's a godsend. And I'm very grateful that I have at least what we believe right now to be 6 months where I can go live in a home, sit for them. I met them through a friend. So because they trusted this friend, they trusted me. Yay. And not anything that I've done, but simply because of this friend that they knew and trusted, they're letting me stay in their home. They needed someone, and I needed to make a decision about what I was going to do. Okay, what's that red gonna do? Yep, let's put a little bit of that red. This is a little Tim Holtz sticker here. I can't seem to hold on to anything, but I'm gonna let him go off of page 2. I don't have my glasses on, so I'm gonna hope he's on the, I have him turned right side up. Do you ever do silly things like that? Well, I was in the mood to craft, and I sat down without my glasses. Okay, so let's leave these in frame, but now let's pull the third one here so that you can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to use a butterfly on this one. And, you know, when we're doing, I want to see a little bit. Okay, good. When we are creating for junk journals, remembering that the theme that we are making junk journals, we're trying to save all kinds of things that we've had. If it's an old guest check that you got from a restaurant or somewhere where you went in and you want to be able to use that. Now I'm looking here at, I have an old page that I was putting together with, this looks like dictionary, and this looks like a little old math book. It's very nice and yellowed. And I'm thinking about where I might like to put a piece of that on my paper, and this is what I'm choosing. I don't want that square for some reason. And I'm going to put it right here. But remembering the thing about the junk journal is that we're saving envelopes and old tickets. And when I go to Starbucks or Lassiter's Coffee or anywhere else that I might be going where there's any kind of paper item, Cracker Barrel, you saw me make a bag a few days ago in, okay, look. But anywhere, remember that. You don't have to start from scratch. I don't have to start from scratch. It is a junk journal, so we are saving the fun pieces of paper and making something creative out of them. Hence the guest check and the something creative by creating a journaling card that we've now made pretty by using labels, flowers, fussy cut butterflies. Maybe we are using this kind of reminds me of a cigar band, but it's just a little label cut in a different fashion. I think that's going to work right there. And I do love labels cut or shaped in all kinds of ways. I'm not advocating cigar smoking. I think it just reminds me of a cigar label that I might have seen in my dad's cigars when I was a little girl and he smoked those back then. And I'm looking at one place right here. I think I want to add something. Here's a little Tim Holtz oval label. I think I'm going to go right down with that. There's quite a bit of green right there, so I'm looking at it. Try to see if I see anything that I might like there. And I do believe that'll help encroach on that green just a little bit to break it up, but also allow it to flow all the way down the paper. And I think I'm going to stop there. Sometimes less is more, sometimes more is more. All right, I hope you enjoyed crafting with me today or just watching along. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great week, have a great weekend, and talk to you later.